If you're in the area of Rock Creek Park and you hear this, don't be alarmed. These trees are being taken down as the result of a pest that is devastating thousands of ash trees in Montgomery County.
There's no real hope for the future of ash trees at this point. Basically, the emerald ash borer is killing all of the ash trees within this area.
The emerald ash borer is a highly destructive insect from Asia that's about ½ inch long and emerald green in color. This beetle will kill all ash trees in Montgomery County within a few short years. Montgomery Parks is proactively addressing this issue with the immediate removal of 1,800 trees for the safety of parks users.
We went from the previous years, a couple, probably 20 or so trees the previous year, and this year we're on par to remove upwards of about 1,800 trees, which is a pretty startling number, and they're all going to die that quickly. As the population density of the bug increases, the speed at which it kills trees is much faster. So it can go from anywhere from 1 to 3 years, but in high infestation areas, it can be as little as even 6 months.
And believe it or not, woodpeckers are helping park staff identify where the borer is doing its damage.
So these larger holes are the woodpecker holes.
The birds chisel away at the bark looking for the larva of the emerald ash borer, and this is a sign to arborists that the pest has done its damage.
It's an extremely difficult pest to contain. It flies upwards of 18 miles away from its original exit point from a tree. So it can basically establish a colony in any ash trees that are within an 18-mile radius of it. So they fly much further than they originally thought they did when we first had the infestation in Maryland before.
One ash tree can be infested with as many as 10,000 larvae, and as Harwood explains, they bore into the tree and feed off its new growth.
Their life begins as a small, tiny little egg. It's about 1/16 of an inch, and then they hatch, and then they bore directly down in right below the bark of the tree, and they will bore these little serpentine galleries here, feeding on the cambial tissue. The cambial tissue is basically the vascular system, or part of the vascular system for the tree. They basically cut off the circulation to the tree, or its ability to translocate sugars in water. That's where the actual growth of the tree happens.
Harwood says it's not feasible to treat the trees with pesticides. Doing so only prolongs the inevitable mortality of the tree. Removing the trees in the larva stage will stifle the infestation. Harwood says many residents don't understand that Parks is taking down the trees for the safety of residents. In fact, some are confused about the green dots on the trees and not happy about their removal.
Thank you for complaining, because we never have a say in this kind of stuff.
What's the complaint?
Oh, that you're taking that down.
Well, there's a lot of circumstances why we're taking it down. We can explain it to you further if you need.
Well, actually, I'm running. I just wanted to stop and take that.
Okay. Well, yeah, there you get it. People don't really understand, obviously, that this is an infestation, that this is a problem. You have somebody here who doesn't understand why the trees are going down. Is there any kind of like a public campaign that you guys are going to be putting out during the time that the trees are going down to let people know why this is happening?
Yes, we've actually installed a number of signs that just explain some of the biology of emerald ash borer and some of the effects of it and signs and symptoms. We're working continuously to let the neighborhoods around where it's being affected notified. We've been doing consistent posts on our all of our social media, informing folks of what we're doing.
This is actually the time of year to do it. And you need to get them before the beetles have emerged from the larva. And by getting rid of this reservoir of trees that have the ash borer in them, you don't have a sending site for the beetles to leave in the spring and go out and infect more ash trees. So the idea is to try to contain the population, remove areas that are infested, sort of like a quarantine, only removing the objects being quarantined, and then hopefully preventing the spread of the bug.
What about replacement? These are beautiful trees along this trail.
Absolutely.
Are there any plans to put something in place of them?
Yes, we're definitely dedicated to replanting. It's an obvious enormous loss of canopy, and it's something that we take very seriously, and we're pursuing very rapidly. The first half is removal and becoming safe, and then the second half is basically paying back the forest and giving them back some more trees.
Currently, researchers are studying a natural predator to the emerald ash borer, a wasp that's native to China. But in the meantime, time is not on the side of ash trees across our region.
It's quite devastating. It's a real big loss to the forest, and this forest in particular is the stream buffer for Rock Creek right here. And you know, trees are extremely important in the stormwater management and erosion control, and they provide habitat for many birds and other animals and wildlife, as well as it's a wonderful place to recreate. I know it's a hard sell to a lot of folks. We're environmentalists just like they are. We're trying to keep a balance between the environmental you know, benefits as well as the safety of park patrons.
For more information about the tree removal program or on the emerald ash borer itself, visit the park's website at montgomeryparks.org.